Imagine what would happen if an alien spaceship suddenly crashed to Earth, say, right in the heart of Los Angeles. This city, with its endless traffic jams, Hollywood glamour, and multimillion population, would become the epicenter of chaos that would turn the entire planet upside down. In one instant, everyday hustle would transform into a global crisis, where fear would mix with curiosity, and humanity would stand on the threshold of a new era. No one would be prepared. Neither the authorities, nor the scientists, nor ordinary people. This event would ignite a fire of conspiracy theories, cause economic upheavals, and force us to rethink our place in the universe. And now, imagine the most ordinary Saturday afternoon in Los Angeles. The city of angels lives in its usual lazy rhythm. The sun mercilessly beats down on the skyscrapers of downtown. An endless stream of cars on the 101 freeway is stuck in a dead traffic jam, and thousands of tourists crowd around the Chinese theater, trying to take pictures with the stars on the Walk of Fame. Families with children stroll along the beaches of Santa Monica, where the waves of the Pacific Ocean lazily roll onto the sand, and surfers catch the last rays before sunset. In Hollywood, actors rehearse scenes in studios, and in Beverly Hills, celebrities sip lattes in trendy cafes, discussing upcoming premieres. No one suspects that in a few seconds, the familiar reality will cease to exist. The air is filled with the scent of the ocean, mixed with exhaust fumes and the smell of street food from food trucks. Children laugh, adults check their phones, and the whole city pulses in a rhythm that seems eternal. Everything starts with a sound. Somewhere in the area of Griffith Park or over the wastelands near Dodger Stadium, the air suddenly fills with a low, vibrating hum. It is not the roar of a jet engine or the rumble of a helicopter. It is a sound like distant thunder, felt not with the ears, but with the whole body. It penetrates the bones, making mobile phones vibrate in pockets and coffee cups tremble in the hands of passers-by. At first, people think it is an earthquake. In California, that is not uncommon, and local residents are used to such shakes. But the hum grows, becoming more intense, and echoes through the canyons of the Hollywood Hills, reflecting off the glass facades of buildings. In the parks, birds flutter from trees, dogs start barking, and cats hide under cars. Tourists at the Griffith Observatory viewing platform freeze, holding binoculars, and exchange puzzled looks. This sound is unlike anything earthly. It pulsates like the heart of a giant creature and evokes a primal fear that makes goosebumps run over the skin even of the most skeptical. People instinctively raise their heads, and what they see makes the crowd freeze. In the blue California sky, an object appears. It is enormous, its surface smooth as mercury. It has no wings, no tail, no single identification mark familiar to earthly aviation. It violates all laws of aerodynamics. It does not fly, cutting through the air, but rather floats in it, but its movement becomes more and more chaotic. With each second, it loses altitude, dangerously tilting to one side. The object shimmers in the sunlight, reflecting the sky and the city below like a giant mirror, but with a shade of something alien, either silvery or slightly violet. Its size is staggering. It is larger than any passenger liner, perhaps several football fields long. In the sky, it looks graceful, but its trajectory is clearly out of control. It tumbles like a leaf in a whirlwind and leaves behind a faint trail like steam, but without smoke or fire. People on the streets begin to point fingers, whispers turn into shouts, and the crowd on the Walk of Fame parts as if in anticipation of the apocalypse. Someone recalls movies like Independence Day, but this is reality, and adrenaline makes hearts beat faster. Panic begins on the streets. Is that a drone? Someone shouts in the crowd. A plane is falling. Another interrupts. People run for cover, mothers clutch their children, and drivers in traffic jams jump out of their cars, leaving doors wide open. Car horns mix with screams, phones drop to the asphalt, and chaos spreads like a wave. In downtown, office workers run out of buildings, thinking it is a terrorist attack, and at LAX airport, dispatchers panic check radars, but find nothing. Social networks are already exploding with the first messages. What is that in the sky over LA? #WTF. With blurry photos taken by shaking hands. The panic intensifies when the object flies over residential areas, its shadow covering entire streets, making people fall to their knees in horror or run into nearby stores. But what happens next contradicts everything Hollywood blockbusters have taught us. There is no fiery explosion, no catastrophic destruction. The object does not crash into skyscrapers, does not sow death and fire. Instead, it slows down at the last moment, as if trying to stabilize, and falls into a relatively open area, perhaps in a wasteland not far from the stadium or in a park zone. The impact on the ground is dull and heavy. The earth shudders, glass in the windows of nearby houses vibrates, ready to shatter. A giant column of dust rises into the sky, hiding the crash site. The dust mixes with soil and grass, creating a cloud that covers the surroundings, making people cough and cover their faces with their hands. When the dust settles, it becomes clear. Buildings are not destroyed, there are no victims. The ship lies on its side in an open field, its hull slightly smoking, but it is completely intact. Around it, a small crater has formed, but no fires or debris, only silence, interrupted by distant sirens. At that second, the history of humanity splits in two. While the dust still hangs in the air, thousands of smartphones are already pointed at the object. We live in an era of instant information. Videos upload to the network faster than the first patrol car can turn on its siren. People film from different angles, from building roofs, from apartment windows, from drones launched by daredevils. Social platforms, TikTok, Instagram, X, drown in a flood of content. Short clips with overlaid music, live streams with trembling commentator voices, photos with filters trying to capture the unreality. In 15 minutes, the planet already knows this is not a meteorite. This is not a secret experimental Boeing, and certainly not a Chinese weather balloon. This is that very event. The one we have waited for centuries. The hashtag #AlienCrash LA skyrockets to the top of global trends in a matter of minutes. Videos gain billions of views. The internet turns into a digital hurricane of memes, conspiracy theories, and genuine fear. Memes appear instantly. Photoshopped images of the ship with logos of famous brands, jokes about aliens coming for California burritos, or theories that this is a government staging. Conspiracy theories multiply, from claims that it is a Russian or Chinese drone to ideas that NASA has long known about aliens. Fear manifests in panic posts. End of the world, evacuation, and people share coordinates of shelters. Leading TV channels, CNN, Fox, ABC go live. They are professionals, but even through the screens you can see how their voices tremble. Reporters on site from helicopters try to get closer, but they are driven away and they comment from a distance, describing every detail. The shape of the ship, the absence of damage, the growing crowd. In other countries, BBC in London, NHK in Tokyo, RT in Moscow, they translate broadcasts, and the world freezes at the screens. Social networks are overloaded, servers creak, but information flows like a river, connecting continents in a single shock. The first to arrive at the scene are local police. Officers of the Los Angeles Police Department are at a loss. Police Academy does not teach a chapter on actions in case of UFO crash. All they can do is shout into megaphones, trying to drive away the growing crowd that climbs over fences and launches drones to see the miracle with their own eyes. The crowd is diverse. Curious teenagers with phones, families with children who think it is an attraction, and even amateur ufologists who arrived on bicycles with signs, "We are not alone." Someone in the crowd cries with joy, believing it is a sign from above. Someone prays, bowing heads in impromptu groups. Someone just stands in stupor, unable to look away. Police set up yellow tapes, but they are torn down, and officers are forced to use batons and pepper spray to hold back the onslaught. The chaos does not last long. In an hour, top-level protocols are activated. The perimeter expands sharply. Black subs without license plates arrive at the crash site. These are FBI agents and the Department of Homeland Security. They are in strict suits, with earpieces, coordinating actions via radios, and quickly take control. The National Guard blocks roads, setting up barricades and checkpoints where they check documents and drive away reporters. The sky over Los Angeles, which an hour ago belonged to seagulls and private planes, is now patrolled by Black Hawk combat helicopters and F-22 fighters, ready to destroy any threat. Their roar drowns out all sounds, and pilots scan the sky for other objects. Command of the operation passes to the Pentagon. ARO is activated, the Special Office for Investigating Anomalous Phenomena. The White House interrupts broadcasting with an emergency statement. There is no threat, but citizens are ordered to stay away. The president appears on screens with a serious face, calming the nation, but his words are carefully weighed so as not to reveal too much. In a field camp deployed in a matter of hours, specialists don suits of the highest biological protection level BSL-4. They approach the ship, scanning every inch for radiation and toxins. The sensors are silent. There is no radiation. The ship is clean. The specialists, a mix of NASA scientists, military engineers, and biosafety experts, move slowly, recording data on tablets, taking air and soil samples. Up close, it looks even more incredible. No seams, no rivets. The metal shimmers like a living organism. It seems that this ship was not built in a factory, it was grown. The surface is warm to the touch, even through gloves, and slightly pulsates as if breathing. Scientists note the absence of visible engines or antennas, and this causes whispers. This is not a machine. This is something organic. Silence falls. The whole world holds its breath. What will happen next? Experts have modeled 3 possible scenarios. Scenario 1, echo of emptiness. Astrobiologists such as Seth Shostak from the SETI Institute consider this option the most likely. The ship is just an automatic probe. There is no one inside. In this case, the military acts methodically. First, sapper robots crawl to the object, searching for hatches. These robots, equipped with cameras and manipulators, crawl over the hull, scanning the surface with lasers and ultrasound, trying to find weak spots or hidden panels. If an entrance is found, it will be opened with specialized tools, perhaps magnetic fields or acoustic waves, so as not to damage the structure. Then total evacuation of technologies will begin. At night, under the cover of darkness, the ship will be cut apart and transported on C-17 transport planes to secret hangars in Nevada. There, in underground laboratories, engineers will disassemble it piece by piece. Study materials stronger than titanium, but lighter than plastic. Disassemble navigation systems working on principles unknown to physics. Extract data from onboard computers that may store galaxy maps. The world will receive new technologies, anti-gravity, perpetual engines, but the truth will be hidden under the secret stamp for many years. Governments will divide the spoils. The United States will take energy, China materials, Europe AI. Society will learn only streamlined versions. Scientific breakthrough in aerospace, and life will flow on, but with new gadgets that will change everyday life, from levitating cars to infinite energy sources. But there is another option, the most frightening and beautiful. Scenario 2, contact. Imagine, after a few hours, part of the smooth hull silently slides aside. A soft light pours from the opening, warm and not blinding, with a shade of blue or golden, creating an aura of calm. Beings emerge onto the ramp. They may resemble us with 2 arms and legs, but with more refined features, or be tall and thin like stems of alien plants, or have no form at all. Perhaps these are energy entities or amorphous life forms. They are injured, disoriented. One of them raises a limb, a universal gesture of peace, an open palm without weapons. Snipers on rooftops hold them in their sights, fingers on triggers, but the president's order is strict. Do not open fire. Agents surround them but do not approach, giving space. The work of linguists and psychologists begins. The first dialogues will be primitive. The language of mathematics, simple numbers, geometric figures drawn on the ground or shown on screens. Specialists from the United Nations and leading universities, linguists like Noam Chomsky or their successors, try to decode gestures, sounds, or even telepathic signals. The aliens are immediately isolated in a quarantine module to protect us from their viruses and them from ours. The module is a mobile laboratory with transparent walls, where doctors monitor vital signs, offer food and water adapted to possible needs. Society will explode with emotions. The Pope will call them brothers in reason, calling for mercy in a special encyclical. Fanatics, demons, organizing protests at the perimeter with crosses and signs, end of times. Millions of people will take to the streets with signs, from welcome to return our world. Religions will adapt. Buddhists will see them as enlightened, Muslims creations of Allah, atheists proof of evolution. The economy will stall. Stock exchanges will close, tourists will cancel trips, but media will earn billions on broadcasts. Contact will change everything. From education, where courses on xenobiology will be added, to art, where movies and books will be inspired by real aliens. Scenario 3, autopsy. If the hatch does not open and the ship remains silent for a day or two, humanity's patience will burst. Congress will demand answers, holding emergency hearings where senators interrogate the military. What are you hiding from the people? Engineers will use plasma cutters and lasers to break inside by force. They will select frequencies so as not to destroy the structure and slowly cut an opening, releasing gases inside for safety. What will they find? Empty pilot seats with ergonomics not suitable for humans, bodies of the deceased crew preserved in stasis with anatomy that will shock, several hearts, transparent skin, or star maps leading to their home with coordinates of distant stars that astronomers will confirm through telescopes. In any case, the ship will become the main trophy in human history, and the crash site will turn into a memorial for centuries. A museum with exhibits, statues, and annual festivals will be built there, where people will remember the day of contact. The finds will be distributed to laboratories. Biologists will study DNA if it exists, physicists, engines working on dark energy. The world will change. Medicine will get cancer cures, energy, clean fusion, but with ethical dilemmas. Is it worth using technologies obtained by force? The most important question that torments everyone: are they alone? If this was a lone scout, its distress signal may travel to the home planet for decades, crossing light years through the blackness of space, and the response will come only through generations. but if they are being watched. If in a week the sky darkens from the arrival of a rescue fleet, Earthlings will wait in tension, installing new radars and telescopes pointed at the sky. Every night, astronomers will scan the stars, looking for anomalies, flashes, signals approaching objects. Society will divide. Optimists will hold festivals of anticipation, with music and fireworks, believing in friendship. Pessimists will build bunkers, stocking up on food and weapons. Governments will activate defense plans, orbital lasers, nuclear missiles, but with a diplomatic slant, messages into space in all languages. Weeks will turn into months. Media will run countdowns, day +7, silence in the sky, analyzing every meteor. If the fleet arrives, it could be a rescue mission, ships hovering over cities, offering help or conquest, with technologies that will make us helpless. People will gather on rooftops, in parks, looking up, and wonder, are we ready to meet them not with weapons, but with an open palm? This waiting will rebuild culture. New religions will arise around the aliens, art will reflect fear and hope, education will add lessons on interstellar diplomacy. Stock exchanges may collapse, religions be rewritten anew, and science will make a leap 1,000 years forward. Economies will reorient to space. Investments in telescopes, construction of stations, preparation for contact. But the most important change will occur in people's minds. From Tokyo to Moscow, from New York to Cape Town, everyone will understand we are no longer alone. This realization will unite humanity, make us forget wars and focus on the stars, or, on the contrary, ignite conflicts over technologies. All this could start with one fall in a sunny California field, with one ship that simply did not have time to break. We do not know if it will happen tomorrow, but if it does, it will be the most terrible and most beautiful day in our history. The day when Earth stopped, and the universe opened to us in all its immensity, forcing us to rethink every little thing, from morning coffee to night dreams about distant worlds.